afternoon, folks. We are live and back after what seems like forever. Let me get everything switched over and loaded up, and we will jump into today's drawing stream. All right. We should have audio. We should have video. Hopefully everybody can hear me and music. Hey, Iconic is here. Wow, Iconic, it's been a long time, buddy. Good to see ya. I hope all is well with you. Huh. I haven't seen my model do that before. I don't know why. Well, that was unexpected. Let me try resetting my camera. I didn't even know Homeboy could move that fast. Part of the problem is I'm partly obscured by my tablet. So I think if the model detection doesn't see me completely, it's just going to assume I'm floating off in space somewhere. Weird. In all my time using VTube Studio, I've never seen my model do that before. So excited to see Iconic that I decided to have a brief moment of demonic possession. I was wondering when you were going to get the laptop. I know you've been busy working and all that, so not a problem. My stream schedule has been kind of stupid lately because of work. So it's been inconsistent, and that does suck. But I try and get on here when I can so I can hang out with all of you lovely people. All right. I am now paranoid that my model is going to flip out again, so I will be looking over at my OBS readout every once in a while, but if I get really focused and it starts wigging out, just let me know in the chat. But we're going to resume our previous experiment of drawing things in a new style. Iconic, I don't know if you've seen what I've done, because I've only done this once before, but I'm experimenting around with drawing, I call it kind of like a negative space style. I did it on Wazzy's big mega drawing stream for a couple things, and I've posted some art in the Discord of what I've done before. But in a nutshell, I'm working on a black canvas and starting with a white sort of base as I roughen all the shapes, and then rather than focus on different layers of color, I use the eraser to erase out sections to create whatever it is I'm going to draw, which is not a style I've really done before. I'll show you what the results have been from the last stream, which will be easier. And so the focus of the type of things I've been working on using the style have been different types of horrific monstrosities, because Look Outside is still fresh in my mind, and I've always wanted a good avenue to be able to draw more horror type things. So if we take a look at the results of last stream, we get stuff like this. And so the idea would be to just sort of go in with no preconceived idea of what I'm going to draw and see what emerges. Chances are it's going to be something with a lot of eyes, mouths, tentacles, or some combination. Are we on ads? Okay. I will give the ads a minute, and then if I need to recap my explanation after the ads, I can definitely do so. Should probably think of a name for these at some point. I believe the ones that I put into the Discord do have names. Yeah, I've got a couple ideas on something I want to try for the first one today. These tend to take a little bit longer than some of the other base sketch type stuff we do on these drawing streams normally, but at the same time I think I can get a completely realized piece together if I have a bunch of ideas hit me all at once. We did 2 in the last stream, and it's not necessarily about quantity. If we have one more detailed, more comprehensive piece versus a bunch of smaller ones, then I'm cool with that. All right, have the ads passed, or are we temporarily free? All I was saying, Iconic, before everything went to ads is that this was the result of last time I tried this on stream. This one we've got on screen right here. And so again, no real plan, but I've got some ideas on things that I want to try today using this similar style. The whole idea of unknowable horrors. I can show you the other one we did too. These are, whenever I finish stuff on stream, which is not common, but for stuff like this, when it's done, I'll post it in our community Discord under the art section so people can see what I actually finished. There we go. We'll zoom out a bit. Yes, that's right. You can thank Look Outside for reigniting my passion for drawing horror type things, since I don't really do that in my content. But I figured what better opportunity to learn a new drawing style than to translate that over to things that are eldritch or cosmic horror in theme. Alright, so this was the first one. There's another one I haven't posted yet that I did offline. I will probably put that one in the Discord later. But we did this really large piece, and then this was the second one. Kind of more of a take on a tree? I am going to kind of mess around with more than one color, but these first ones we did on stream were just white on black, essentially. No color. Oh, thanks, Iconic. It's definitely something I'm still kind of learning. But hopefully they continue to improve the more we do these. Okay, we're going to get started. I think I want to rough in a couple larger sections, and then we'll kind of break it up, work on the texturing. Kind of like we do for just the regular drawn stuff. it's easiest for me to start with kind of a base primary when it comes to just the shape of what I'm doing. If I have an idea, sometimes I'll just have no idea and start plopping around random shapes. This one, I do have an idea of what I want to do, but we will have to see how it evolves. Conic says, might need to use a monstrosity consultant for an OC thing in the future. Oh, sure. I'd be happy to lend any ideas. Okay, we might have to scale a little bit. I need to do a real quick biology check. Not that it really matters. Okay. I would have been wrong. How is your OC project coming, Iconic? I know we haven't talked about it in a hot minute. Okay, we're going to have to be aware of perspective a little bit. Doesn't need to be exact. Because again, we're creating a primary, kind of roughing in where things go, but we don't have to keep everything if we want to edit or change the direction of things. In fact, I am still working way too large. I see. So you're still trucking along with the writing. That's cool. On topic, not something I really talked about recently, but since I've had such a limited amount of free time, I started going back and editing some of my quote-unquote finished writing work for that universe of fiction that I've told you folks about a couple times. And there's a story that I had written a long time ago that was done, so everything was complete, but it needed some edits, so I've been working through it from start to finish. I'm about 75% done, just tweaking some of the dialogue and correcting some kind of repetitive construction stuff. It's probably been a good 7+ years since I finished writing it, and I wouldn't necessarily write the exact same way now. All right. It's probably more or less apparent what I'm drawing now. Okay, I may have to take you up on that at some point in the future, Iconic. If anything, I might need your opinion on some of the informational stuff that goes with that universe. Since before you even read any of the narrative stories, there's kind of like a primer that explains the universe and the setup and the general setting that all the stories take place in. And I kind of want to make sure that reads clearly to someone who knows nothing about it, so that it makes sense when they do eventually read the actual stories. It's designed to be like a reference, not necessarily like a story in itself, but it's like the background that you need in order to understand what the actual setting of whatever story is. It requires a bit of explanation. Okay. This one is gonna be a bit of an experiment, because I think we're gonna probably end up deleting a lot and working off of the kind of base here, or I'm gonna have to scale it again. I still think I'm not utilizing my space super well, but that's okay. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. And it's probably going to be quite a bit of erasing as I figure out what I want to do. Ooh, yeah, me hydrate from Iconic. To think of color palettes and whatnot much later. Before we even get there, we need to add a lot of detail to the body here. And have to consider the perspective. There's a question for you, Iconic, since again, I haven't had a chance to talk to you in quite some time. Where you're not working on your writing or work itself. You playing any good games right now? I have not had much time, at least in the last week, to work on some of the stuff I've been playing. I've really been wanting to sit down and sink a few hours into Monster Hunter Stories 3, and I just have not had time this week. We will most likely be streaming that tomorrow in the afternoon, as long as I don't sleep all day or nothing comes up at the last minute. But I'm really enjoying my time with Stories 3. I just wish I had been able to put more time into it. Yeah, we got a stretch and a hydrate from Tin Man. What's up, Tin Man? Good to see ya. Welcome to the drawing stream, where it's unknowable horrors and nothing but unknowable horrors as of late. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Iconic's been working on Hades 2, Dark Souls 2, Dead Rising 2, and Raven's Watch. Nice. I have not played all the way through Dark Souls 2. I got maybe halfway through it before I stopped way back when it first came out. Only one of the Dark Souls games I've really spent much time in is the first one, interestingly enough. Got another idea. This might make things a little bit messy on this thing on the back, but I might be able to make it look cool. We'll see. What we'll do is we'll actually take these legs out, and you can always put them back in. I haven't heard people make the argument that Dark Souls 2 has the most freedom. I will say that's the one that people seem to have the most criticisms for. I had no problem with it. I just kind of got bored. But its mechanics are different from the other entries in the franchise. It did some things different from 1 for sure. But I think most people like it. It just seems to be the one people criticize a lot. People consider that one too easy. I haven't really heard that criticism a ton, especially after the DLC came out, but I guess it depends on what you're comparing it to. Meanwhile, I'm doing everything within my power to put off drawing this thing's head. We should save too. Hmm. Most common argument is that it's too easy, huh? Interesting. Guess it just, again, depends what you're comparing it to. I've never found a single Souls entry game to be easy. Which one do I think is the hardest? Hard to say, since a lot of the mechanics change. I did not think Elden Ring was easy by any means. I did enjoy my time with it immensely, but at no point when Red Dragon and I were playing it did I think the game was easy. Especially in the DLC, we got rocked thoroughly all throughout the DLC. I need to go back and play more of that, do like a New Game Plus. It's just a little bit of a bittersweet memory because of Red Dragon, but I really enjoyed it the time we spent with it. It was fun. I probably owe it to him to go back and complete more of it. Okay, what I'm going to do here is something that I messed around with last time, where I kind of used the areas between some of the major sections and put like a texturing in between to show that it's not just empty floating space. And that's something I need to kind of work on a little bit more. Yeah, I agree, Iconic. Definitely in spirit. Tinman says, this particular unknowable horror is giving me shivers because of its scorpion-like appearance. Well, that means the basic shape is coming through. That is kind of like our starting point here. In case people who were here at the start of the stream are wondering, yes, I did have to look up how many legs scorpions have. I can never remember if it's 3 legs or 4 legs before the actual claws and pincers. I'm not an arachnidologist? What do they call people that study arachnids like spiders and scorpions? Just because I looked up how many limbs scorpions have in real life doesn't mean that's how many this thing's going to end up with. That's just the start. And we might just scale it down again. Where the tail goes is just sort of a placeholder. It doesn't have to stay the way it is now. I think scorpions are an interesting animal. Would I want to be anywhere near them? No, probably not. But I think their design is really cool. When I lived in Texas eons ago, we had scorpions there. I know someone who got stung by one, and that was not a fun time for that person. The general rule of thumb: the smaller the scorpion, the more potent the venom, and the more dangerous they are. And the person I know who got stung by a little one. That's a hospital visit. 10 minutes that's more bearable to look at than spiders, I'll say. I think the mechanics and design on a scorpion is a little more complicated. Now, where I live here on unspecified West Coast land, we do not have scorpions, but we do have spiders. Thankfully, not a ton of super dangerous ones compared to, like, Australia. But they do exist. Usually, you'd have to seek out spiders either in nature or in spots where they are gonna hide and nest. The exception of those giant house spiders, they don't really get inside and root around too much. For some reason, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before on stream, but in my garage, the entrance to my garage, the sides, like the corners of my garage door area where the door goes up, for some reason, those giant, like, couple inch long, big house spiders like to just nest right at the entrance of the door. And I think it's because when the door's down, any bugs coming in from the outside seeking shelter are going to have to crawl right through where they live. And so they just post up right there. And they're there every year. And I just don't mess with them because they can have that spot. I know when the ants come around in the warm season, they start building nests right outside my garage door. And when they try and get in, that's probably just like a buffet for those giant spiders. So they're like my guards, keeping more annoying things out of my garage and out of my house. It kind of says here in my garage with this Lamborghini. Yeah, I wish. More like here in this garage with this 2010 commuter sedan that I drive. Your boy's not exactly living the flashy lifestyle. Saving. I am just not trying to give this thing a face, because I don't know exactly how I want to do the face. It's gonna happen. Can't put it off forever, but I'm gonna try. Ooh, I got an idea for color later. Hopefully I don't forget. Yeah, I think it's kind of coming together, Tin Man. Whoop. I think I might have to scale it down again some more, especially when you start getting to the arms. I'd like to have them not out of frame. Yeah, I think I will scale it down. That's not scaling. Got another idea. Okay, let's see if we can make some progress on this thing's head. Ooh, thanks for the save reminder. Thanks, Iconic. We're going to go less biologically accurate for the head and try and kind of build on the idea of unknowable horror, and boy, that's unsettling looking. In fact, we'll give us a little more room, take the other claw out of perspective. I should totally do this exercise with a bee-themed creature at some point. Could use that as the cover art to the next BGM compilation, since they're always bee-themed. We could do that one next. Might have to scale it down again. But I want the actual arm to be a bit further back. Like the shoulder's going to be kind of more over here now. Ooh, I got an idea. We're gonna need to make more room, but I think we can make this thing even worse. What if we gave it more slender, shapely, human-like arms? That sounds terrible. That's right, Iconic. When in doubt, go disturbing. Might need to extend the legs out a little bit. They seem kind of short. Okay, see if this comes across with how I'm doing the stinger here. Might have to shape it out a little bit more, but like I said, I have some ideas for what to do with the color. But we just need basic shapes for now. Ooh. That is a good idea, Iconic. Good suggestion. Let me figure out what I'm going to do with this other arm. And I think I can definitely work that in. I don't know what I'm going to do with this arm yet. We'll put something in temporarily here. There, for now it's just flipping the bird. That is not going to stay there. Okay. Gonna look a little bit rough, but I think if we get the direction going the right way and then add in some more of the detail, convey what you're talking about here. I'll go ahead and save. I think I'm just going to leave that other arm there for a while. Anybody who stops by the stream wondering what I'm drawing is going to be very confused. Okay, back to the face. I think we'll definitely need to work on the texturing a bit. That's kind of like the last passes as we go through. friend of mine just sent me a link to a Steam page. Apparently Breath of Fire 4 was just remastered and re-released. And you folks know I'm a big fan of the Breath of Fire series, having played 2.5 of them. But I never played 4. I might have to check that out. Heard pretty good things about it. I've been saying for years, and I will keep saying, that Capcom needs to make a new Breath of Fire that's not a terrible mobile cash grab, but they do not seem intent on doing that anytime soon. At some point, I don't know exactly when, but at some point in the near future on this channel, we're going to play through the first one. I need to see if I can secure a working cartridge, in quotes, for Breath of Fire 1 on the Advance. Just like we did for Breath of Fire 2. Iconic says they got bigger priorities like Street Fighter incest. You know, there are times when I really think I need to get back into Street Fighter. And then there are stories that break that tell me I probably don't need to be in a super hurry to get back into Street Fighter. Although they just had a teaser for Ingrid, but no word on her gameplay yet. I'm so many characters behind, man. Like, I've been really out of the loop on fighting games, and if I had more time to stream, I would definitely get back into them. We got new stuff coming in Strive soon. I want to play the Avatar fighting game, which I will probably pick up on launch. And then we have Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, which looks really cool. I'm gonna have to pick like 2 of them, and then that's it. If I take on more than 2, I will not have enough time to get good at any of them. And 2XKO I think is going to launch too, but I have not really been paying attention to that one. Okay. Rude gesture's going away, and I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the arm. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Invincible fighting game too. This is actually a pretty good time to be a fighting game fan. It's just a shame I don't have as much time to sink into them, because I'm a pretty big fighting game fan, as you folks are aware. I need to go watch all the stuff for Invincible that's come out. I'm way behind. Wait, DBZ Fighters is coming back? They're doing more content for it, or they're doing a new game? I think what I'm gonna do is kind of split the difference on the hand iconic. I'm gonna go fingers, but give kind of some more gnarled, pointy things around the hand. Oh, new character, huh? I thought they were done. I never did get into any of the Xenoverse stuff. Seems like a franchise they can continue to add stuff to indefinitely. I think the Dragon Ball properties and franchise is gonna exist long after we're gone, which I guess we'll see if that ends up being a good or bad thing. You folks hear about the upcoming release for JoJo? I'm behind a few parts, but heard some people talking about Steel Ball Run, which just aired its first episode. Are we on ads again? Alright, we will wait for the ads to come back. Or to come back from the ads, rather. Keep defining the sections here and adding more texture, and then pretty close to being done with this one, I think. You know what? I got a better idea for that. Same thing down here. We're going to use some color on some of the spots to get a bit more variety. We are back from ads. What I was asking before they popped off, Iconic, was if you or anyone else had been following the news about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I need to finish part 5. I really need to do that. Yeah, it was the first episode that came out, and then I'm pretty sure this was Netflix, right? They said that the next episode is going to come out sometime. As in, who knows? So it does not have a kind of committed schedule, which made a lot of people pretty upset. So that tells me I'm not under any real-time pressure to get through the other parts. I think they did that with Stone Ocean too, which sucks. It's not a really good way to air a property because people are just going to forget about it. Yeah, I know people have been talking about Steel Ball Run. That one I'd probably know the least about. But I know it's really popular. So like the idea that they're gonna slow roll something highly anticipated like that is just brand suicide. Why would you do that? You're basically saying we don't want money. It would have been better if they just waited till production was done and did it in like 2 halves. So I don't understand. But it gives me time to catch up on other things. Yes, I know about the horses. I know about a couple of the characters, but other than that, I don't know much else about Steel Ball Run. I've heard it's pretty wacky and over the top, though, which that's just JoJo. Okay, let's go ahead and save. I did start watching Jujutsu Kaisen after many people on the internet were yelling at me to watch it. I think I'm like 4 episodes in. I've been really busy lately, so I haven't had time to just watch stuff. But it was pretty entertaining so far and very well produced and animated. Alright, now color-wise, I think a dark color would kind of complement this thing well. we're going to do is do an underlayer of color, sort of not highlighting it, but almost like it's moving beneath the actual white parts, like, you know, like an ethereal energy holding the whole thing together. And I did not do this on the ones I showed you earlier, so this is something I've been experimenting with recently. Alright, what we can also do is drop the transparency down just a little bit. It's on the underlayer, so it's not like you're going to be able to see anything through it. I think I'm glad I hid the legs on the other side of the body. I could try and fit them in, but I think it'd make it really kind of cluttered and hard to see. There, zoom out to about here. I think that'll do it for this one. Started off with kind of a basic shape, and then as we went, kind of tweaked things a little bit to kind of add some more unique elements and things that were going to sort of set the design apart and give it some flavor. I do like Iconic's suggestion about having the stinger coming out of the mouth. Hopefully that comes across. I will add my signature and we'll put this in its own folder. I've been doing these on one big file, which is probably going to be an issue at some point. I think this is it. There it is. This will be design number 4. I'll think a name for it at some point too. Probably will before I post it. This one will go on the Discord when we're done. Okay. So let me put this in its own folder, and I think we have enough time to start another one. And like we mentioned earlier, I think I want to do a kind of community focused one, and this one will be a bee themed. A bee themed unknowable horror, which we can kind of do a lot of things with once we have an idea of the main pose. Okay, I'm thinking a mid-flight pose. So we're going to start with some big shapes, just like we did before, and then we'll kind of rough in from there. Conx says maybe it's a queen that is the honeycomb hive. That's also a pretty interesting angle to go. I have an idea here. It's going to come down to whether or not I can do the perspective justice, but we might be able to incorporate some of those ideas too. So hold on to that thought. Okay, hopefully this at least reads position-wise like an insect. 3 body segments: head, thorax, and abdomen, I believe. Let's see if we can do that a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to kind of be jumping around a little bit as I try and flesh out the ideas that I have for this here. too big. That might be too small. Do bees normally have 6 legs in total? Yes. Is this one going to have only 6 legs in total? No, definitely not. Okay, we'll leave some space in this section here. Another idea for that. We'll come back to that later. Oh, I gotta think of some ways to handle the wings. Got some ideas, but if you got any suggestions, Iconic, on what to do with the wings, that's gonna be a little bit, let's say, atypical for what you'd expect a bee-type creature to have. I am all ears. Okay. I had to reread your thing before you put the second thing in there. Butt wings. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge because of how much stuff is around kind of the lower part here. But we could take the idea of, like, you're talking about, like, succubus wings. Butt wings would be down here, kind of where I'm drawing now. But we could take that idea and we could put them up on the torso, but instead of it being... Here, let me kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. Instead of it being insect wings, you know, just like that. This thing doesn't have to, like, functionally look like it has regular wings. We could do, like, claw arm wings. Like, this is a kind of rough shape here. But instead of, like, feathers or webbing, this might take a second for me to actually realize this properly. Eyes. Instead of feathers, eyes. Lots of eyes. If I'm gonna do this, it's gonna need to be kind of cleaned up a little bit. But I think we could make that work. Like I said, this is just kind of a rough way to have them in position, but I think we would need more of them to kind of have it more fanned out, looking like feathers. But we could also put some effects, kind of like they're dripping, or that there's stuff around them, not just free floating. That's not where my brain originally went when I said bee, but that's definitely unique. I have an idea. It just popped into my head. This is going to be difficult to do on the fly without using, like, a tool. I know Clip Studio can do what I'm thinking of doing. I just don't know how. If this was Photoshop, I could do it real quick. If I can pull this off, this might actually look really neat. Okay, let me save first. Okay, this tool will do what I want, but how do I get it to look correct? Oh, okay, that'll work. Let's see, we would want solid fill black. Positioning's a little bit tricky. Sorry, I don't have a commentary at the moment. I'm just trying to see if I can get these things to all face the direction I want. Then I'll explain what I'm doing. Okay, might be a little bit tough to see from a distance, but the hexagon-shaped pupils coming from the idea, again, like honeycomb or a beehive. But what we would do, because the eyeball shapes are very rough and inconsistent, but if we kind of refine them a little bit and then add texture to them so they look like they're kind of like a vein texture, then I think that would improve it some more. Okay, let's keep working on these and cleaning the shapes up, and then we'll look at doing the texturing. Okay. It's definitely going to be kind of an unusual effect. Let's see how it sort of turns out once I finish doing all this texturing. And then I'm going to add some detail around each of the eyes so it doesn't look like they're kind of free floating in space. It actually does kind of look like webbing, which is fine. Just not your standard kind of wing patterns, which is what we were going for to begin with. Let's go ahead and save our progress here. You're gonna have to give this thing antenna. I think probably from the top of the head. Ooh, a bot. First one of the stream. Get out of here. Okay, now we're gonna go sweep through here and add just kind of more detail in whatever sections to sort of flesh it out a bit. I did mention I was going to come back to this. You know what goes well with unknowable horrors? Eyeballs and mouth. We're almost done. I do want to do color for this one. We're going to go yellow underneath everything. Maybe do a couple more of those in there. All right, color is going to be interesting. It's like before, we're going to go underneath. One layer under. Yeah, welcome back, Iconic. No, you don't have to apologize, Iconic. I honestly didn't say a whole lot. I was just putting in a lot of this additional detail, which is not the most insightful thing to talk about, but it does need to be done. Oh, you do have to hydrate. Consume water. Okay. could put... like an iris in there like that. All right, let's zoom out and see the final results. You know, not exactly sure or where I thought the design was going to go, kind of like the last one. But I dig it. It always is a surprise, the couple times I've done this, just to see where we start up and where we end up with the overall design. Excuse me. With the way all the eyeballs are arranged on the quote-unquote wing section, it also kind of looks like eggs. Tying back to Iconic's idea from earlier with having like the actual hive incorporated in here, it kind of doubles as both depending on how you look at it. And I'm sure this would give trypophobes serious anxiety, which not the intended effect, but we do what we can. Here, let's organize this one into its own spot, and then we'll do kind of a recap of what we've done today. The first one took a bit longer, but we got 2 of them done. I don't really have time to go and do a whole nother one. We'll be here a little bit longer. But we're going to call this one 5. And again, finished pieces, I will render them out as just regular pings, and I will drop them in the Discord a little bit later today. I'll think up a name for this one and the other one. So if we jump back, this was our first piece. Scorpion inspired. I do think the color turned out decently in the end with the purple. Bit more busy. This one took a while to sort of come together and flesh out all the ideas. But if you compare it side by side with this one, I feel like this one looks a little bit more kind of dynamic. Almost looks like this thing could be moving. Versus this one's very, very static. So 2 different ideas, but actually 2 bug-focused designs. I didn't plan for that. Yeah, so far we've gotten 5 entries in this series 5. Yes, there's one that you haven't seen yet, which will probably go in the Discord at some point as a surprise. I don't really want to tag the entirety of the community every time I do that, but I will say, check in on the Space B or Space Art. What am I call the channel? Art by Me, I think is the channel. Because I can't promise it's going to be constant updates all the time, but I do plan on working on more stuff like this to practice, and I will put the results in the art channel for people to see. I know I haven't contributed a lot to it, but because I've been practicing with stuff like this, I will be adding more pieces that you can look at and just see how things are progressing. Yeah, art by me. Well, let's do one last save, and we will get ready to wrap up. Let me see who is online that we can go and raid. I am streaming at kind of a weird time compared to what I normally do, but let's see if who's online that we can raid. Oh, hey, Ladybug's online. Oh, she does stream Fridays. That's right. We're not normally live on the same day. But Ladybug is playing Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection. Okay, let's go over and visit Ladybug. It's been a while. So we'll queue up the raid here. Pause the music, and we will go to outro, and we will call that a stream. It's good to be back. Like I said, unless for some reason something happens tomorrow, we should be back in the afternoon around the same time to jump back into Monster Hunter Stories 3 and do some progress and some grinding. So, in the meantime, thanks to everybody who came and hung out. It was great chatting with you folks. And we will be back soon. Now let's go see how the Star Force is going over on Ladybug's channel. Catch you folks later.